All right, guys, arm drag from closed guard. Here's what it looks like. All right, let me break it down for you. So, if you've watched my Understanding the Whirlwind Guard series, you know that I typically like to set up my closed guard attacks by starting with a 2-on-1 frame break so that I can obtain this position. But a lot of times in an attempt to do so, my opponent is very aggressive at keeping his elbow on the let go of your hands, on the outside of my body. His left elbow remains on the outside of my body so that I cannot pull it across, let me do it, my center line, all right? In that case, what I like to do is transition my grips. My left hand goes to the same side of wrist grip, and my right hand is going to reach around his tricep and grab my own left wrist. Here I can threaten the reverse Kimura. But I typically don't get that because my partner prevents it by stuffing his hand to his chest. This is an excellent opportunity for me to then take my left hand, bring it to his tricep, and my right hand will punch his elbow to my left armpit. At this point, I'll reach for the back with my right hand. I'll scoop my hips out, and here, just bring your shoulder towards me a bit. You can see I have the advantage of the fact that his left shoulder is, or should I say his elbow is further in this direction than his shoulder, okay? As opposed to his elbow being directly under his shoulder, I've managed to arm drag him so that his shoulder is almost touching the mat. So what I'll do is my left hand will transition to the tricep to ensure that he cannot post on his left elbow. I'll scoot back, insert my foot in between his legs, and now pull him to take the back. Okay guys, this is going to be the second option to arm drag your opponent from closed guard. In this case, I cannot break him down to a shoulder, so instead I stand up and take the back like I would against any turtle opponent. So recalling from the first video, we're working from a reverse figure 4, okay? I pass the tricep to my left wrist, punch his elbow under my armpit, but in this case, you can see how his left elbow is directly under his shoulder. And it's gonna be difficult for me to just pull him onto the side of his body without additional leverage. It's not like in the first scenario where his elbow was in front of him and I could transition to the tricep to keep it there and pull him onto his back. Again, in this case, his elbow is underneath his shoulder. So rather than waste time coming to the tricep, I just post my left hand on the mat and I use my left hand and my right foot to get my hips up in the air, establish my over-under, and take the back. Option number 2, arm drag from closed guard. Okay guys, this is going to be the third variation of the arm drag from closed guard. In this case, my opponent postures up aggressively and pulls me with him. Very similar to that situation from the arm drag from half guard knee shield. I'm just going to allow him to pull me up and I'm going to use that momentum to come around his back. Recall from the first 2 videos, we're working with a reverse figure 4 grip. I'm going to post my right foot, get my hips out to obtain some leverage, pass his tricep to my wrist, punch the elbow to the mat, but in this case, he pulls me up with him. Go ahead. And I just use the momentum to swing around and take it back. Okay. Straight through. Arm drag from closed guard when your opponent postures up and pulls you with him.